I mean, I fully admit it could just be recency bias, and I do remember the emotional moments of Senkyu and his father and the messages being received. This show has had a good handful of truly emotional moments, but I do believe it goes beyond just recency bias. I think this whole Sai Ryusei revelation is the most emotional Dr. Stone has been, because I really thought the punchline was going to be no wonder a brother runs away from another brother. I mean, Ryusei is a very powerful personality. Bro just wanted to make video games and be accepted, not used. And whether it was his family saying you have to do nothing but math, or his brother saying you need to help me with this new project, everyone was greedy and didn't take into consideration his own feelings. And I really thought the punchline would be Ryusei just apologizing, be like, hey, I kind of overstepped, my bad, I really just, I knew you were smart and I thought you could help me. I thought we were being brothers. But instead, the punchline was something so much deeper. We had a brother who just wanted to have a brother, wanted an excuse to be with his bro. And it's so interesting, right, that something so close to you ended up getting pushed so far away simply because you had love. That you wanted an excuse to hang out with the brother you were just so proud of and were so in awe of. And in doing so, that same brother thought of you as a greedy little gremlin that he needed to run away from. And it wasn't until finally this episode where the concept of Sai, teach me the ways of chess wasn't seen as this greedy moment, but rather I want to do something with my brother. I just want a family. And it's so painful because the revelation that these two were never allowed in the photography of anything in their family, whether it was family portrait, probably just random pictures around the house, because of how their births were handled, right? Absolutely heartbreaking. We ended up making some insane progress this week. From the starting of a computer, we have a fax machine, which allows us to actually send pretty solid photography, which, I mean, I'm glad they kind of highlighted the fact that they planned ahead for this, so that as we all went in our separate directions, they already had like the game plan. So, our basic Morse code communication would be able to be enough in order to get certain things going. But what a fucking episode of Dr. Stone. Now, let's show you some reaction highlights from my full live reaction. You can catch that over on Patreon, and we'll jump back into finishing up this review. Wait, did he just say 200? I thought 2,000. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're a little ways away from Dragon. Yeah, let's make, Pong. Let's make Pong before we make anything else, So the fact that we already have the pieces in play, each section's doing it, we can use Morse code to finish the communication, and then we can start sending pictures. Are we actually gonna fax a piece of shit for the first time? Yeah, I was gonna say, wouldn't it make more sense to come with us? There's nothing here in India for you. But this is gonna make him seem like he has to do what other people say. Oh shit! Well, I'll be fucking damned. It's interesting because he doesn't realize just how much his brother truly loved him. It's weird, it's almost like because he grew up in such a weird family, he didn't know how to properly bond with family, so he did whatever he could to keep them close, and in doing so pushes them away. And the fact that Ryusei never cried about this, he always kept a smile on his face despite his brother running away. Where is he? He was hoping so much. He doesn't show a lot of emotion, but that was the first time he truly looked disappointed, and I don't even know how long. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Seeing this photo made me very emotional, even before the revelation of what happened with the brothers. I really hope that this photograph, or a photograph of some sort, ends up in our rocket when we go to the moon to confront old Y-Man. It's just it's insane because there's so many things that you don't think you're ever gonna see when first starting Dr. Stone. And hell, even before starting this new season, right? So 28 episodes ago. For some reason, there's just certain things I didn't think we'd see. And it's really interesting because I think the fax machine is one of the most deeply underappreciated inventions of modern time, because we have so much that is more impressive at this stage in our life. But when you really consider when the fax machine came out and what type of technology we had at the time, it's pretty insane how it works. So it makes sense that they would go back to utilizing something like this with such precision, as they're also building, I think he says 200,000 donuts is how we're gonna go about this. And it ain't the donuts that are fun. Senku's a very interesting beast because every time you hear him say, we're gonna make a computer, or we're gonna make a video game console, or we're gonna make a rocket to go to the moon, you take a look around and you say, yeah, Senku, we do got a lot of shit, but what the fuck? There's no way we jump from this to this. Like, you even said 10 years to get to what we're doing. He's like, that's true, but we're gonna do it a little different. It's gonna be very interesting because, on one hand, we don't have a lot of episodes to work with, and we still have a lot to do. But on the other hand, it feels like they know what they're doing. Yeah, it's kind of a shame, if you think about it, that we don't have, like, a sequel manga set maybe 20 or 30 years after the events of Dr. Stone, but direct it like something like Tensura's Slime Diaries. And for those who haven't seen Slime Diaries, Tensura is the type of isekai that does have war and battle and conflict, but also there's a lot of slice of life civilization simulator. I think Dr. Stone would really benefit from having something like the Slime Diaries, which was never conflict, it was just focused on the slice of life building civilization simulator side of that series. And honestly, it did fairly well for characterization. Imagining when this show's all said and done, having a sequel spin-off, right? Where it doesn't need to be 20 or 30 years, but just focusing on different moments. Hell, you could have multiple time skips. It could be a 12 episode length series, even if it was anime original, where you just have like maybe 5-year time skips every episode, and you focus on different progressions of their civilization, and with the final episode seeing it look like a modern society again. I think that'd be such a really interesting anime original epilogue. But hey, I'm just happy that we got a consistent show overall. I mean, I've said it since season 2, I think, Stone Wars, I believe, that I think Dr. Stone is a very consistent show. And, you know, this show has always been like the target of mid-production claims, and I don't think it's mid at all. I think it's pretty average to quite good. I mean, if you watch more than just the Sakuga Fest of the season, you know modern anime and how much it moves. I'd say Dr. Stone moves no more little than your average show. And honestly, if you look at how consistent the art quality has been, I mean, we've gone through so many years of this show, and it's still the goofiness, like the little simplicity with its it kind of Bill Nye the Science Guy explaining things is still the same as it's always been. Characters have never visually went off model all too often. I think the show deserves a lot more credit for how consistent it's been, kind of similar to To Your Eternity. I don't know, I think people have been overly harsh on this show over the years, and I think haven't given it enough appreciation for how consistent not only visually, but also the narrative has been. I mean, it would have been very easy for this episode to be like, okay, now we're jumping the shark, right? I wasn't worried, but I had more concern than normal once we started thinking about the whole computer. But yeah, after seeing what they did, it kind of makes sense. Either way, the show's fucking great. It's still one of the GOATs, and even if people don't appreciate it as much as I do, I know I'm right, damn it. Your thoughts down below. What did you think of this episode? Do you agree with me, most emotional moment? And if not, what's your personal moment? I feel like most people will probably think of the message left behind for Senku from his dad. There's something about the brotherly love, man. Your thoughts, though. Make sure you drop a like, share, support, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course, Patreon's where you can catch the full live reactions to all these episodes and more, and other exclusives, because I love to give those video shoutouts to my patrons, because of why I get to even attempt to do these YouTube videos at all. Alright, so today we got Jack, Alexandra Strollman, King Taz, Taika Williams, M4I, 3X, Ma N, Andrew, and the almighty Ultimate. So I appreciate the support. Please take care. You have a good one.